And today's a special day because I'm going to tell you how to get a 90% closing rate on your cold approach. This is not going to be like a, whoa, that is way too bright. That is way too bright. Welcome to Friday Field Notes, guys. Episode 2. This is the second week in a row that I'm doing this Friday Field Notes. And today's a special day because I'm going to tell you how to get a 90% closing rate on your cold approach. This is not going to be like a tactic, right? It's not something you implement. This is a mindset. You are on the mindset. It's the name of the channel. But it works for me. And I actually used it today. I had someone there to witness it, and we had a conversation about that, and I want to share that with you guys just because I'm looking out for some of you guys who have asked for it. So otherwise I wouldn't really talk about this because I think that cold approach and the way you meet women is really something that should come naturally, but it just does not come naturally to everyone. And I understand that, and that's why I'm obviously willing to share it and talk about it on this channel, where I have to kind of be vulnerable and kind of share some of the things that, I really don't want to talk about, but I do it for you guys. And cold approach is one of those things because I think it is important. If you live a certain type of lifestyle, cold approach just comes naturally, and it's a lot easier, and it just flows, right? It's not even cold approach, it's just the way you live. But if you don't, and you're more of a homebody and you're home all the time and you're on the computer or you're watching TV and you're not quite into self-improvement and you're not that social, it's going to be very hard for you to have even the opportunity to cold approach. So let's just get right into it. And I think I want to start off with that today on the Friday Field Notes because of the fact that today I actually did meet a beautiful young lady at the beach. It's a long story, but I'm going to just break it down quickly so you understand how it works and how to actually get the 90% closing rate. And it's actually very simple. You're actually going to laugh at how simple it is. And I know it's not easy. But it boils down to two things. Okay. One, I only approach women that I already kind of have some sort of acknowledgement from them. I already know that they're somewhat attracted to me, or are interested, or are intrigued. So what I mean by this is, if we make eye contact and I sense some sort of attraction, then I will approach, right? So by doing so, you're only approaching women that you actually, the ones that you actually want to talk to, right? That's the first thing. So let's get that out of the way, right? Because cold approach with women that are mediocre or not your type, absolutely pointless. I'm actually going to bring that up later on in this video because of last week's date that I went on. First date, I got to tell you about that. But basically, if I make eye contact and I feel there's attraction on her end, then I will gladly make the cold approach. If there is no eye contact, no smile, no smirk, no head nod, no, nothing at all, then simply I might not approach, right? I might not. It depends on the situation and, of course, on how attracted I am to her and how much I am willing to go out of my way for someone that maybe isn't really interested. So that's the first step. So as you go about in your life, if you start seeing women that you're totally attracted to, use what I call the vicinity game. I used it today. I actually talk about that in this video, which is called something along the lines of why I don't cold approach. Because vicinity game I don't think it's cold approaching. It's basically you're putting yourself in the vicinity of the situation. So I'm not saying go out of your way to be next to a woman or anything, but what I am saying is if you're going to make a phone call, you're in public, and you're going to make it over there, but you see a beautiful woman here, make the phone call in her vicinity. Okay, by doing so, you're giving her the opportunity to be intrigued by you, to get a good look at you, to maybe hear your voice. And once that happens, you'll be able to gauge if she's interested or not. She'll give you a look, she'll give you a smile, she'll nod, whatever it is. And that is when you cold approach. That's when you make your approach, and that the percentage rate on those approaches are going to be way higher, guys. It's way better to approach once or twice in a day or in an event or in a venue that you might be in, okay, and have a 100% closing rate of one or two, That's way better than approaching 10 random chicks that are not even your type, are not interested. You're going to get a very low percentage and you're going to waste time. Okay, we're adults here. We don't have time to be talking to random people that we're not necessarily super attracted to or drawn to, right? So use the vicinity game, okay? Use the vicinity game. Watch that video. It's actually very interesting because the results are proven. All right, this is something you can implement immediately. So the second part that's going to make you feel comfortable and confident, even though you might not be, is you want to do a lot of your cold approaches in settings that you do feel comfortable in. For example, today I was at the beach, but that's my beach. That's the beach that I always go to. I know everything about the parking. I know everything about the vendors there, the food vendors. I know everything about the paddleboard station. That's what I did after I met her. I went paddleboarding, and that's what I did on the last week's date with the 30-year-old. That's coming up. So I know everything about this beach. I feel very comfortable. I feel very, very comfortable. The situation was right. She was very attractive, and I just went straight up to her. And my boy William, who, shout out to William, he came out today for our long jog that we did. We did 4 miles in the hot sun, hot Miami sun, and we had a blast. And I'm actually very proud of you for showing up. A lot of guys do not show up to these things on the weekends. He's trying to get in shape. He's trying to get his life back in order, and he's part of my community. I'll talk to you about that a little later because, you know, I think it is important for guys like us to be in a group, right? So he was very appreciative of my invitation. You guys are all invited if you're local. It's I try to do it on Saturdays or Sundays. Sometimes it's during the week, but we go out to the beach or parks. We want to be outdoors, and we do pull-ups, push-ups, walk, run, and just chop it up, you know, like just guys just hanging out and getting in shape, really, and just sharing information, everything that we've learned, and at the gym, in business, in relationships, cold approach, whatever it may be. We just chatted up. So he was there. That's actually my bedtime alarm. I'm supposed to be in bed in the next 30 minutes. So I wasn't going to do this video, but I said to myself, don't be a bitch. Get the video out of the way, and you can go to bed without having to think about the video for tomorrow. So, because it's Friday Field Notes, right? Friday Field Notes has to be filmed on Fridays. So so William came out, and he was there, so he saw me kind of do the whole thing. I talked to her for a few minutes. It turns out that she had a boyfriend, which totally cool. That's going to happen. You know, that's why the closing rate is 90%. It's never going to be 100%. Even though she did smile, she made eye contact, she was obviously very willing to have a nice, amicable, long conversation. You know, even though all those things did work out in my favor, of course, the fact that she has a boyfriend, obviously that's a no-go. You know, we don't mess with OPP, right? For the most part. So that is how you're going to improve your closing rate, okay? And I also do encourage you to think about cold approach, or I should say, I don't want you to think about cold approach. It should be natural. I went to the beach. I'm meeting up with William. We're gonna go run. We're looking for parking. There's a cute girl behind the car. I pull up. I got out of the car and I went to talk to her while waiting for parking. Guess what? A parking spot became available, 2 cars down, and we put William's car in there. While he's parking, I stayed talking to her, and that's how that whole interaction worked. So it comes naturally. You don't have to force cold approach. What I want you guys to do is design your life. Watch this video on how to design your life. You need to design your life, design your day, your week, your year, design everything about it in a way where it's conducive to naturally approach and be around beautiful women, right? The gym that you choose, the supermarket that you purchase your food at, the restaurants that you go to, the friends that you hang out with. There are so many things that you can purposely design so that you have better and better opportunities with women. All right, so I don't want to make this video completely about that because it is Friday Field Notes and I want to talk about other things, including a physique update. I said I would do these, In the last video, am I a little, hesitant to do it? Yes, but whatever, right? We have to get comfortable with all of this sharing here on this platform and all that online, because it's the only way to help other people is to share your story. So basically, the physique update, I'm just going to do a little, right? This is right before bed. No flex. The lighting's pretty good back here. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really see because I got these blue light blockers. Trying to go to bed early now. It's my new thing. But depends on the lighting. Depends on the lighting. You know how it is. So, but this I do want to document as I get leaner and leaner as we approach summer. Doing a very, very slow cut where I am actually gonna keep my calories pretty high, but I'm going to mess around with the ratios of protein to carbs and fats and whatnot. So I am going to be experimenting a little bit, and I know that by the time summer comes around, which is, it's already summer here, to be honest with you, but the real summer, which is like June, July, and August, by that time I'm going to be shredded. At least shredded for me, right? I don't really take anything besides like creatine and protein powder. So for me, shredded means, I guess, below 10% body fat. I want the vascularity to be really pronounced. But I also don't want to lose muscle mass in the process. I don't want to inconvenience my life for more than what I already kind of focus on my nutrition. I think I have a good setup right now. You can actually get the actual protocol that I use to design all my meals, basically. You can get that in the link in the bio. It took me a few months to get that ready, so it's very cheap. So it's not that cheap for digital products, but I also want to make sure that people got enough value out of it to really kind of change their nutritional habits. But at the same time, I can't give it away for free, but because people don't value free shit. Okay, they really don't. Very few people actually get a free nutritional book or a diet book and go through it thoroughly and implement it in their life. You know how they lose the weight? They lose the weight by hiring like a coach or a trainer or a nutritionist, and they pay. When they pay out, that's when they say, okay, damn, I'm not gonna waste my money. I gotta get in shape. I gotta lose the weight. So that's the concept. Right? It's only I think it's $47, but I'll put the link for the discount on this particular video because, as you know, I want to help out 1,000 guys in 2026. Okay, so if I can help more guys out by dropping the price, that's what I'm gonna do. So right now for this video, you can get it for I think $27. I'm not really sure. I've had that link ready to go, but I'm not on the computer right now. So I think it's $27, but if you get it from another video, it'll be $47, right? It's a different link. But point is, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so back to the physique. This is basically where I'm at. I'm actually trying to build a little more muscle up in the chest area and shoulders this year. I'm going to start a new rep range and volume and volume of sets for the upper body in about a week. Right now I'm still doing my PPL push-pull leg plus A. You can actually get that for free in the description. I try to put everything in there, all the free stuff, all the paid stuff. I try to put it all there for you guys, so check it out. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. The goal is to kind of be lean and just grow muscle gradually as the years go by, naturally. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm 43, so I do want to grow and a little bit. I want to get to 155. I'm 150 pounds right now, but I want to get to 155 at the end of this year. That's 5 pounds of muscle, which is very hard for me because I'm like a workaholic, right? So I work a lot, and sometimes, if you know, you kind of, you don't have meals, like when you're really focused on something, right? But I've been trying to be good with it. I'm gonna put on a few pounds and still lean out for summer. So that's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but I can do it. And so the next thing that I want to talk about on Friday Field Notes, we got the cold approach out of the way. We're talking about the physique update. Oh yeah, so last week's date. I went on a first date last week, and I wanted to give you a quick update because I think there were a few lessons that I think would benefit you guys. I learned a few lessons. And basically, I want to keep this simple for you guys. The girl was cute, but from the beginning, when I saw the pictures on her Instagram or dating app, I wasn't super impressed by her, right? I wasn't super attracted, is what I meant to say. I wasn't like super attracted to her, but I said, all right, let's give this a shot. She's got a great body. She's cute, whatever. So the first lesson is I realized very quickly on that date that I wasn't really into her, okay? I wasn't really super attracted. And that became a problem for me. That really did become a problem. I usually don't go on dates with anybody who I'm not super attracted to. So that's the first lesson, okay? If you're gonna spend any money on a woman, if you're gonna spend your time on a woman, effort, emotions, whatever it is, at least be super attracted to her. Like that's like the base. That's like the foundation of it all right? So I'm not going out with anybody that I am just like, that I am not super attracted to. That's lesson number one. And then lesson number two, it's really about the age gap, okay? I've kind of touched on this a little bit. I think I talked about it in the last Friday Field Notes, but the age gap with her was 13. So I'm 43, she was 30. And I actually don't date women over like 28, 27, 28. That's my oldest that I tried to date because and this date actually reinforced that for me. Okay, I'm not saying that I will not date older women. I will not say that. Okay, I do have conversations right now in dating apps and texts with women that are in their early 30s. I do. I haven't gone out with them yet, but what I learned is that most women, especially on dating apps, okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, please. And by the way, yes, engagement really does help boost these videos out. We want to get to more guys. We want to get the information out to more guys. So please engage in the comment section. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And let me know what do you think? Am I crazy here on some of these things? Because I could be. I mean, if you guys don't tell me, I'll never know. I'm delusional at that point, right? I need some feedback. But basically, women on dating apps, very attractive. They might be very, very attractive. But if they're over like 28 or 29, they come into the date, right? If you set up a date, they'll come into that date with an agenda, okay? And what the agenda is basically to interview you, to figure out if you're gonna be that guy that's gonna give them what they're looking for. And at that age, for the most part, most of them are looking for marriage and children, okay? And here's the problem. I already did all that. And I'm not really sure that I want to do it again. So, going back to actually just dating, what happens in these dates is that you are, as the man, you become almost like you are going to be interrogated about your last relationship. Why did it not work out? Do you rent or own your home? What kind of car do you drive? There are plenty of questions that are used to determine your ability to provide and protect for a family. And that's okay. I don't blame them for doing that. But what happens is that takes all the fun out of the date. And dating should be fun, right? Dating, why do guys date? Why do we go out on dates with women? We want to have fun, okay? Especially at the beginning, the first, second, third, fourth date. It's all about enjoying each other's company. But if you're going to ask me a million questions, I don't want to be interrogated, okay? I want the conversations to flow naturally. I don't want to relive my past relationships just so you can get a better gauge on where I stand emotionally and financially. And it's just fucking annoying. All right, so that's why I only date women under 28, maybe 29. right? Under 29. The ideal age for me so far for dating has been 25 and 26. I'm not saying that a woman over 28 is completely out of the picture for me. I'm not saying that, okay? What I am saying is that I do not like the interrogations. So I thought I'd share that with you guys because, you guys might be in the same situation that I'm in, same age bracket, maybe over 30, maybe. Like if you're over 30 and you're dating women in their 30s or early 30s or even late 20s, but you already have kids, maybe you're getting over a divorce or whatever it is, you're going to be in this predicament, okay? And if you're older, like me, 40, 43, 45, maybe even 50, then you really have to really kind of assess, do you go down in age? Do you go a little bit higher? It's kind of tricky. I actually had this conversation with the girl at the beach today because she's 33. She was very attractive. But after she told me she had a boyfriend, I asked her, well, do you have any cute sisters? And she actually did. She actually did. But whatever, that's another topic. But we started talking just briefly about relationships and like, she asked me what age range do I date? So I kind of told her the truth. Like, listen, you're 33, you're attractive, but the same reason that you're with your boyfriend, if you and I were together, you'd be ready for marriage, right? You're ready to go. Like, you need to have kids. And she's like, yeah, she totally agreed with that. So I told her that that's why I date a lot younger, like 26, 27, 25. And she totally understood. We had a nice conversation there. And then we parted ways. So that's it, right? And then the last thing that I want to touch on today, okay, this is actually very important. And I kind of talk about this here and there in my channel about habits, right? Like I have a whole diagram on habits. I don't know if you can see this, but right there, I have that from one of the videos that I did a couple weeks ago, where I broke down the winner's trilogy of success, which is basically identity, goals, and habits. That's a triangle, right? At the top of the triangle, you have identity. At the bottom, you have the goals and the habits, right? So you need to have proper alignment of all those things in order to have success. I break down how setting new goals and the appropriate habits to succeed with those goals will shift your mindset. And by shifting your mindset, you start this loop of self-improvement. Because once you shift your mindset and you've reached this new identity, that's when you can set new and bigger and better goals. And that loop right there is basically self-improvement, right? It's basically setting new and better goals and achieving them over time. And that cycle itself starts with three things, which is your values, your standards, and the habits that are actually going to help you keep those standards and reinforce those values. So the last thing that I want to talk about, just very briefly, is about habits. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because, again, today I went out there and I actually got to run. If you follow the channel, you know that I'm not supposed to be running. I have like a pain in my back. It's like a sciatica pain coming from a herniated disc. I'm not sure how it happened, but I kind of had to stop running. But today I felt great. Okay, I planned this whole thing out. I got William out there. He started running with me, and I don't think that he runs at all right now. He told me that in the past he did, maybe 5-10 years ago. But he's going through some stuff, and he's recovering right now from a long-term relationship. And he was out there running with me, and I ran a few minutes. I think I did 5 minutes. We did a couple intervals, but my last interval was 5 minutes. So that's huge for me, man. And the whole point is that the habit of going out there and walking, at least getting there and walking and being outdoors, that habit alone has transformed my life. And I am not going to let a back injury stop me, right? I feel great. I'm still agile and mobile, and I'm strong, right? I just have to be careful, right? So I feel good. We'll see how my back feels tomorrow from all the, from the impact. But I felt really good. I really, really, really did. And I was very excited to see William out there, and maybe he establishes that type of habit as well. I think it's important. He is walking. He's walking on the treadmill. He told me that he walks every evening. After work, he kind of just walks like a solid mile on the treadmill on a 12% incline. But I think that the habit of walking outdoors, there's something magical about that, right? And I think that the fact that it's outside and you're in nature and you're exposed to the environment and you're in front of other people at the park also being healthy instead of on a treadmill, it's also more social. So I think that that habit is one that I think is transformative to a lot of people. So I just want to say, listen, pick the right habits. Again, going back to the chart, you can watch that video as well. It's called The Winner's Trilogy of Success or something like that. Okay? The right habits, okay? Fitness, nutrition, your mindset, any habits that are going to get you to a positive place in those three disciplines. And if those habits are aligned with your goals, and in order to achieve those goals, you're going to have to accumulate new skills and knowledge, and you're going to have to seek opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities. And if you can do that and succeed and achieve those goals, that's when your mindset starts to shift. And that's when you build your identity, you build momentum. But it all starts with habits. All right, guys. And if you're wondering why I'm standing like slightly off-centered here, because I have like 50 pounds of chain. Okay. Don't ask me why, but I have like 50 pounds of chain. It's from a project. One of my clients had a huge swing that came with its own artistic chains, but they actually arrived late and she wanted to use the swing. It's like an indoor swing in her beautiful $21 million condo. You can watch that video here on this channel. It's called something like $21 million condo in Miami. But when the new chains did come in, eventually, we went back and took down some of these like temporary chains that I bought at Home Depot. And then I had it in my truck for like 2 weeks because I don't know what to do with 50 pounds of chain. But I kind of want to use it to like work out or something, right? So last week I got kind of tired of having that in my truck. I mean, it's ridiculous. 2 weeks with that in my truck. So I just brought it up to the unit. So that's why I'm not standing like directly. You see, it's right there. Standing slightly off to the side, but that's neither here nor there. So I hope you enjoyed today's Friday field notes, and let me know what you think. Are these worth doing? I'm not really sure. I think they're fun. It does help me kind of feel more comfortable on screen. And it helps me kind of stay accountable because it's something that has to get done every single Friday. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. And if you want to support the channel, I do encourage you to head on over to the description and grab one of the workbooks. We've got the Mindset Reset workbook. It's the 100-day growth through accountability program. It's a 100-day program where it's 49 pages. It's got like 8 worksheets that you can print out and fill out with all the questions that are going to hold you accountable. And it's going to give you a plan for the rest of the year. That's actually the best-selling workbook right now. I also have my Nutrition Reset Protocol 1.0. You can also grab that in the description. That is probably the best way to support the channel. If you don't want any of that, just watch the videos, and I encourage you to watch till the end because that does help us get the videos boosted out into the algorithm, all right? That really does help. And if you can't do that, then at least hit the like button and leave a comment. All right, guys? Peace.